Hello, friends, followers. Welcome to McFarland's Corner. I'm Michael McFarland, giving you the Lake Fork Daily Rundown for April 23rd, 2020. Folks, if you're following along, today was an absolute top water beatdown. Tons and tons of blow-ups. We landed, I think, 15, 16, maybe 17. I don't know, kind of started to lose count. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Awesome fishing when you're catching 4, 5, and 6 pound bass on top water. The bite remained pretty much all day. It was fast and furious the first couple hours, but even at the end of the day, the last 20 minutes, probably 2:45, somewhere around there, we still had an occasional blow up, and we even lost one of the biggest fish of the day in the last half an hour. Usually they don't come unbuttoned from 9 points, 3 treble hooks hanging. They usually don't come unbuttoned. But anyways, let's just tell you a little bit about the Goat Lake. Again, it's April 23rd. These parameters are a little bit behind. The shad spawn's starting to happen, but we have water temperatures in the morning at 65.2. At the end of the day, 68.4. Remember, that is the main body. That is not backwater. That is not up north. That is not all the way down south. That's the main central body in Main Lake, subsurface, the first 12 to 18 inches, okay? The clarity, it's still light stained. There's probably anywhere from 6 to 8 to a foot visibility throughout the lake. You can see some of the bed fish, and there's a ton of fish on beds right now. Once this next cycle gets done, we have a new moon now, today, tonight. You're going to have more fish finishing the spawn. By the time we have the next full moon, 2 weeks from today, the spawn's going to be, I don't want to call it over, because there'll still be some fish in May, and you might even find a fish on bed as far as June, July. But the general numbers will be finished 2 weeks from today after the full moon effect and the final spawn of the majority. You're going to really see that offshore bite really get going. So a little bit behind this year. Usually we're done by now. The lake level, 402.90. End of the day, 402.91. The lake is stable. As I always talk, any body of water, don't care where you are, when it comes to largemouth bass, and specifically the Florida strain bass, the more stable the water, the better. Rising water rises fish. Falling water points them out. So let's tell you just a little bit briefly about the day and what we were doing. And then remember, this week when I do the corner, I will get in much more detail in exactly how we fished through the week in the corner, the journal part of the McFarland Corner. But all right, today basically was all top water. Everything we caught was top water. We did throw some jigs. We did go offshore, throw the Carolina rig. We had one fish that came on a Cinco, and that was under a dock on a secondary point. It was a nice 5 pound feast, beautiful fish, but everything came on the top water. And the top water that I'm talking about specifically is called the Vixen. The Vixen. Now, you cannot really find the Vixen in many places. You can get it through Tackle Warehouse, but you're probably going to be back ordered for more than a year. You might find some Vixens used or whatnot on eBay. They're going to be very expensive. I have a collection of them, fortunately, from before Andre quit and stopped making the famous Vixen. From what I understand, Andre still does some. He generally does the main color of bone. He doesn't do much more than that. But Tackle Warehouse does still have them for sale. They'll go on back order for a long time, folks. My best suggestion, if you want to throw the Vixen, come fishing with Michael McFarland's McFarland Fishing. The fish will eat other baits. The Zara Spook is great. A Sammy, Lucky Craft Sammy. There's a multitude of walking baits on the market. And that's in essence what you need, is a walking bait. Okay? Basically, the Vixen is a walking style bait. This is the bone color. I do have the feather on the final third treble hook, and we walk that bait. I can tell you they don't want it very aggressive. The cadence right now is subtle. It's subtle with a pause in it, believe it or not. and they seem to really take it more on the pause. I'm going to briefly tell you about the rod and the line that I throw on. And when we do the corner this Sunday, we'll get into a little more detail. But this is a real-time rod, Bushido blank. Okay, it's a 7'10", a CB 7'10", 1530. That means it's like a 6-power. It's a very, very powerful big rod. Okay, it's 7 foot 10 inches long. Basically, the only thing that you would do if you want the exact rod that I got in my hands is you would order the CB 7'10", 1530, and you would add the McFarland signatures, which are the microwave concept guides, titanium tip, shrink wrap on the full handle, or the regular grip on your split. I'm throwing that on 20-pound monofilament. Bass-on is what it's called. It's made by Mason, M-A-S-O-N. Mason's Bass-on. It has a lower stretch than most monofilaments. I want that monofilament to float. I don't want fluorocarbon with my top water because then they plunge. That fluorocarbon will sink in front of the bait and the bait will not walk like it's supposed to. So you either want braid or mono. In this case, we're using 20-pound Mason's B-A-S-S-O-N. Bass-on. Kind of a cool name for fishing line. Bass-on. And that's just what we did. So guys, that's the rundown for the day. I'm fishing now every day. I do have openings in May. This bite's going to get better and better. And then when this top water bite fades, we're going to roll into the post-spawn bite. They're going to start eating that Sandtone football jig offshore. And I am loaded and ready for it. I got some new custom rods, some 6-power jig rods. That's right. I got some killer MB 7'3", 1530, some 6-power jig rods with high-speed gear ratio that we're going to absolutely wreck these big offshore bass. Get your booking now, May and June. It's filling fast, and you're going to miss out if you don't. Other than that, guys, sure appreciate you all watching. Thank you so much. Remember to thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like it. But some kind of interaction, comment below. Maybe even if you have any ideas for a lesson or something that you would like to learn about in the corner. So again, I'm Michael McFarland giving you the Lake Fork Daily Rundown, and I'm sure having fun doing it. Thanks for watching.